Do you know the dangers of electric cigarettes? That's what we're here to explore. Let's start at the beginning. Electric cigarettes, also known as e-cigarettes, are devices designed to deliver nicotine, flavorings, and other chemicals into the user's system in the form of a vapor. These battery-operated devices come in various shapes and sizes, some looking like regular cigarettes, cigars, or pipes, others resembling everyday items like pens or USB memory sticks. How do they work, you ask? Well, when a user puffs on the mouthpiece of the device, it activates a heating element. This heating element vaporizes a liquid solution held in a cartridge within the device. This solution, often called e-liquid or vape juice, typically contains nicotine, flavorings, and other chemicals. The user then inhales the vapor, receiving a hit of nicotine without the smoke of traditional cigarettes. Now you might be wondering why electric cigarettes are so popular among smokers. Many believe that e-cigarettes are a safer alternative to traditional smoking. They think that since there's no smoke, there are fewer harmful chemicals involved. Plus, the ability to control the amount of nicotine in the e-liquid gives users the perception of control over their nicotine intake. However, this is a common misconception. While it's true that e-cigarettes do not burn tobacco and therefore do not produce many of the harmful byproducts associated with burning tobacco leaves, they are not without their own risks. Just like traditional cigarettes, most e-cigarettes contain nicotine, a highly addictive substance with known health risks. Moreover, the notion that users can control their nicotine intake is misleading. The amount of nicotine listed on the e-liquid container often does not match the actual amount delivered into the user's system. There is also a lack of regulation in the manufacturing of these products, leading to inconsistent nicotine levels and the potential presence of other harmful chemicals. Electric cigarettes might seem harmless, but they carry a hidden threat. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this hidden threat in our next segment. What could be so dangerous about a device that emits vapor instead of smoke? A reasonable question indeed, but let's dive a bit deeper into the clouds of vapor that electronic cigarettes, or e-cigarettes, produce. While it may seem like a harmless puff of water vapor, the truth is far from that. E-cigarettes heat a liquid solution known as e-juice, which contains a cocktail of chemicals. Nicotine, a highly addictive substance, is one of them. But there's more to it. The vapor also carries heavy metals like lead and cadmium, along with other hazardous compounds such as formaldehyde and acrolein. Nicotine, the primary stimulant in e-juice, is no less harmful than it is in traditional cigarettes. It's associated with an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure. But the presence of nicotine isn't the only concern. The additional chemicals in the vapor add another layer of potential health risks. The heavy metals, for instance, can cause a variety of health problems. Lead is a neurotoxin that can affect cognitive function, while cadmium can damage the kidneys and the respiratory system. Meanwhile, formaldehyde, a known carcinogen, and acrolein, a potent irritant, can cause serious harm to the lungs. And let's not forget about the potential for addiction. The nicotine in e-cigarettes can lead to dependence, making it hard for users to quit. This makes e-cigarettes a gateway to traditional smoking, particularly among young people who start with vaping. While e-cigarettes may not produce the same amount and type of harmful substances as traditional cigarettes, they are not free of risks. The notion that vaping is a safe alternative to smoking is a misconception. The smokeless nature of e-cigarettes can make their dangers less visible, but certainly not less real. So, the next time you see someone puffing away on an e-cigarette, remember that the vapor cloud around them is more than just water. It's a fog of harmful chemicals that can pose serious health risks. The safer alternative isn't quite safe after all, is it? Did you know that nicotine is as addictive as heroin and cocaine? It's a shocking comparison, isn't it? But the truth is, nicotine holds a powerful grip on the brain, leading to a cycle of addiction that can be incredibly challenging to break. Nicotine is a stimulant that speeds up the messages traveling between the brain and the body. It increases the level of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward in your brain. When nicotine is inhaled, it's rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream and reaches the brain within seconds. This immediate gratification fuels its addictive nature. Now here's the kicker. Electric cigarettes, also known as e-cigarettes, often contain higher levels of nicotine than traditional cigarettes. This means that users may be unknowingly ingesting more of this addictive substance each time they vape. In fact, some e-cigarette brands offer nicotine levels that are nearly twice that of a standard cigarette. This high nicotine content complicates the quest to quit smoking. Many people switch to e-cigarettes with the goal of reducing their nicotine intake, only to find themselves consuming more nicotine than before. It's a bit like jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire. Moreover, the cycle of nicotine addiction is not just about physical dependency. There's a psychological aspect that often goes unnoticed. The act of smoking or vaping becomes a routine, a ritual of sorts. This habitual behavior can be as hard to break as the physical addiction, reinforcing the cycle and making it more difficult to quit. The allure of e-cigarettes often lies in their sleek design and the variety of flavors available, masking the high nicotine content and the potential for addiction. It's crucial to remember that an e-cigarette is not just an innocuous gadget, it's a nicotine delivery system. Nicotine addiction is a serious issue, regardless of the source. Whether it's a traditional cigarette or an e-cigarette, the result is the same: a powerful addiction that can take a significant toll on your health and well-being. Ever wondered how electric cigarettes affect non-smokers and the younger generation? Well, it's a question that needs addressing. With the advent of electric cigarettes, we've seen a dramatic increase in usage among teenagers. Yes, you heard right, teenagers. A demographic that previously had low smoking rates is now finding itself entangled in the web of nicotine addiction, thanks to the deceptive charm of these tech-savvy devices. Electric cigarettes, with their sleek designs and myriad of flavors, have been marketed as a safer alternative to traditional smoking. This marketing strategy has led to a surge in their popularity among the youth. But let's be clear, safer does not mean safe. The nicotine in these devices is just as addictive as in regular cigarettes, and the health risks, although different, are still very real. Now, let's talk about non-smokers. You might be thinking, well, if I'm not smoking, I'm safe, right? Unfortunately, that's not entirely true. Electric cigarettes produce a cloud of vapor that often contains harmful substances. This cloud, when inhaled by non-smokers, is known as secondhand vapor. Secondhand vapor is a silent intruder invading the lungs of those around the smoker. It can contain toxicants and carcinogens, similar to those found in traditional cigarette smoke. So, while you're not the one puffing on the device, you're still at risk. The effects of secondhand vapor on non-smokers are still under investigation, but preliminary studies suggest that it can lead to respiratory and cardiovascular issues. Imagine this: a non-smoker, who's made the conscious decision to avoid cigarettes, still ends up facing health risks due to someone else's actions. That's not fair, is it? This is why we need to be vigilant about the spread of electric cigarettes. We need to educate our youth about the real dangers behind the smoke and mirrors of these devices. And we need to protect non-smokers from the hazards of secondhand vapor. Protecting our youth and non-smokers from these hidden dangers is paramount. How urgent is it really to quit smoking? Well, let's delve into that. When you extinguish that last cigarette and make the decision to quit, you're not just flipping a switch on a bad habit. You're deciding to reclaim your health, your finances, and your future. The benefits of quitting smoking are immediate and profound. Within 20 minutes, your heart rate drops. Within 12 hours, the carbon monoxide level in your blood normalizes. Within a few weeks, your lung function begins to improve, but the benefits don't stop there. Over time, your risk of heart disease, stroke, and various forms of cancer begins to decrease. After 1 year of being smoke-free, your risk of heart disease is cut in half. After 5 years, your risk of stroke could decrease to that of a non-smoker. After 10 years, your risk of lung cancer is about half that of a smoker. And by 15 years, your risk of heart disease is the same as someone who never smoked. And let's not forget about the financial benefits. The average smoker spends over $2,000 a year on cigarettes. That's money that could be invested, saved, or spent on experiences that enrich your life rather than endanger it. Quitting smoking is not an easy journey. It takes determination, support, and often multiple attempts. But the rewards are well worth the effort. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There are numerous resources available to help you quit, from hotlines and websites to support groups and medication. In conclusion, the urgency to quit smoking is not just about avoiding the dangers we've discussed. It's about embracing a healthier, brighter future. It's about choosing life over a habit that has the potential to cut it short. It's about saying yes to more breaths, more experiences, and more years with the people you love. The journey to quit smoking can be challenging, but the rewards are well worth it.